dun, dun. All right, DJ and I are in the back room, and we're trying to figure out new tech because, that's what they did. So anyway, if things are wonky or weird tonight, that would be why. So anyway, welcome to Mental Health Matters, because it is Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern here on the East Coast. That would be the eastern part of 9 p.m. Eastern. Anyway, Mental Health Matters. Why are we here? Because we want people to know that 2 out of 3 deaths we hear about that have to do with firearms are suicides. So it was funny. I was in the gun shop the other day, and someone was talking about how, most people are harmed with their own firearms. And just in that moment, it occurred to me that, yes, that is true. In that, if someone commits suicide, generally it is with their own firearm. So I just learned another way that the stats are totally skewed all the time not in our favor. So it is true that people harm themselves with their own firearms. However, it's intentional, not accidents, which is what is purported out there. So what is my goal here? To say hi, everybody. If we talk about mental health, what do we get to do? We get to help people who have mental health issues. We understand that we have resources and things that we can do. If we talk about mental health, not only can we help people who are maybe suicidal, depressed, have anxiety, but it also helps prevent violence. And really, who doesn't want to prevent violence? Well, I don't want anyone to answer that yes or say I do or any of those things. So I shouldn't ask a question. Isn't that what all good lawyers are taught? It's like, don't ask questions you don't know the answer to. All right, so I got DJ in the back room here. He is saying hi to you all. You are vertical. Yeah, that was the technical issue we are trying to figure out. I was playing in the back room, and I did that, and I don't know how to undo that. And for this particular one, it may just be what we have for tonight. Chris, that is very sweet. I know you've had lots of challenges here and there, and I am glad that I helped keep you going last year. You are very welcome. And I don't know, maybe you should come to the New Year's Eve shoot. Speaking of fun things to do in the new year. All right, I have notes. I really have notes tonight. Oh, and as far as playing with new things, it gets a little bit weirder. Are y'all ready? Whoa, what? What is that? Yeah, there's too many things to play with in the new StreamYard. So for those of you who's watching us vertical, I apologize. Like I said, I was playing with stuff and I don't know what to do. So next time, DJ and I will play with that before it happens, because there's just too much to play with in this new StreamYard. Anywho, notes. Let's get back on track. Why don't I? Jay's going to watch your comments, so feel free to say hi so he can say hi back to you all when we get about 10 minutes in, give or take. Depends how much I ramble. You know how these things go. And for those of you who are wondering, yes, it's cold here in New England because I love a scarf. I did learn that this year. Scarves make everything very nice and warm, and it warms you up quickly. I've also had my lovely hot chocolate this evening because it's cold out. So what happens in the wintertime? What happens in the fall? Well, let's see. It gets dark a lot earlier, and we kind of start coming inside from being outside all of the time. And why do we do that? Well, because everything in life ebbs and flows, right? So right now, we are trying to come into ourselves and calm down. Take a breath, not work quite so hard, possibly reflect on what did we do in 2025. Now, to be fair, I'm not sure anyone got out of 2025 unscathed. It seems to me that 2025 was rough on a lot of people for lots of different reasons. And this is yet another reason why it's so important for us to pay attention if we need someone to talk to. We've got our options here. Text the word talk if you don't actually want to talk to people, depending on what age group you are. 741-741. 211 also still works, and 988, which all of those things. All right, so 2025, not the best for most folks. Now, that being said, I am confident each and every one of you can find at least one, if not more, things to be thankful for in 2025. Beginning of 2025, I was 30, 40 pounds heavier than I currently am, and now I'm lighter. In the beginning of 2025, I was guaranteed a new knee because I lost the weight. We talked to the surgeon a couple weeks ago, and the surgeon said, yep, we're going to call off surgery and we're going to try something else, which I get to try that next week. For those of you who've been keeping up with me and all of that, it's why I am standing here in the office and not down and out. So yay for that. Now, things that have not been so spectacular in 2025, there are things. But here's the deal. How many of you had parents? I'm really hoping all of you said, yes, I have parents. Because I know there was a time when test tube babies were a big thing, but I'm going to say that you had parents. And how many of you had a parent who had told you perhaps you should not do that thing? And you know, the thing could be something very simple, like don't put your hand on the stove, or don't slam your fingers in the car door, or I don't know, be careful while carrying boiling water. Yeah, things like that. Our parents usually will try to say that. Now, how many of us know our parents might have been smarter than us, and yet we still did not listen to them? We had to learn for ourselves. So when do we learn the lessons? Well, we really get those lessons baked in here when things don't go according to plan, when we make our mistakes. And we've kind of come to this weird place in our society where it's like, oh, you can't make mistakes. You have to be perfect. Everything's supposed to be just so we can make it Instagram ready so everything looks great. And so when your parents said, don't touch the stove, how many of us put our hand on the stove anyway? When the parents said anything to not do that, and later you'd have to go back to your parents and say, yeah, you were right. I got my story with my daughter. So, but it doesn't even matter what my story is, because the point is I'm confident most of you will agree that often we learn best when we fail. So with 2025 being as challenging as it was for so many people that I know, let's just say it was an amazing learning experience. Now, I am currently getting ready for 2026. My school is mostly closed down for the winter. And I say mostly because I'm just not taking on new clients right now. I'm not booking anything right now. I have classes tomorrow. I've got some permit classes in December. But in general, I'm kind of closed down so I can refocus, reset, and get things kind of ordered up. And I will tell you, this is week 1. Because originally, again, surgery was supposed to be this week, and that didn't happen. And so I've had a week off. Now, who here ever actually gets time off? And I'm pretty sure none of us do. In that, we get time off. And what do we do with that? We do more of the stuff that we've been meaning to do that we haven't gotten done yet. And so in this week off, I've been running around like a chicken with my head cut off. And thank goodness I didn't have surgery, because I'm not sure how I would have scheduled that in there, because it would have been kind of crazy. So in this time, I've had to reflect and realize just how stinking crazy busy my life has been, because supposedly I'm taking time off right now. I'm trying. I am. I really and truly. But it's one of those things, right? Where take that breath, look at some of the stuff that has not been so spectacular, and then possibly ask yourself, what do I need to do in the future to avoid that, prepare for that? Because we know no matter what we want to avoid, sometimes what we have to do is prepare. And how can we possibly overcome whatever that challenge was? So I'm going to use my knee as my example, right? Beginning of the year, for sure, I was going to get a new knee end of this year. I lost 30 pounds. I went to the gym all the time, well, regularly, more so than 2024. So it was an improvement. And losing the weight, getting stronger, is allowing me to do a new therapy on Tuesday. And hopefully that will keep me out of surgery for a long time to come. So, DJ, I'm just going to warn you because now it says 10 minutes. So I'm definitely going to say, in the next minute or two, I want you to say hi to everybody and let me know if there's comments because I'm trying to stay on track. Because I have notes for once. So, when you're ready, DJ, let me know. I'll stop talking.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you are. There you are. Here, let's pop you right the heck up. Poof, there he
Yeah,
is. Oh, wait.
I'm
Hold
ready
on.
when what?
Yeah, ready? All right. DJ is here. I couldn't resist.
Was that rain? Was it raining?
No, that's supposed to be your applause. That's your heart. Your
Applause.
applause.
No, I get it.
Oh,
No, and I'm. Whenever you toss me on the screen, I'm within seconds of making sure that I get to that list. And I want to start off the welcome in to everybody with a thank you to Gun Websites. He did a raid party from a broadcast live that he had earlier today. And he's done that on more than one occasion, but I wanted to make sure to thank him extra special tonight for that.
what is that? I don't even know
We're
what that is.
actually a raid party, so that's when you can set it up so that your live crew immediately gets transported to the next alive. And though there was a gap of some hours, yeah, the raid crew did indeed swing by, and
Oh,
some of us hung out. Yeah,
okay.
we are all now actually in two different dimensions, YouTube dimensions, that is, because
Ooh.
there are two lives going on right now. So I'm trying to balance out finding people in both of them, and I'll
Should I
try to do a double
apologize
check before.
to everybody
Ain't no
about
thing.
that? Because I should, DJ knows I should not play with things, but I didn't realize it would stay like this. So, with that, I'll be quiet. You say hi to everybody.
Right on. First in the room, Viejo. Good to see you, buddy. Chasing Ghost is also with us. So is Chris Brancato, the Atomic Punk. Got Sorry Fan 93 out there. So is Abigail Sorsha Finnegan. Fiona is in one of the rooms. Raw. Carrie Ann Simpson O'Clair comes from the Facebook side. We got Gun Websites out there. Mike Ballinger, I think, was the last one in the room. Good to see Mike. And that is your roll call for now, I hope.
Awesome. Sorry, I did mute myself and I had to unmute myself. You know how that goes. All right. So, yeah. So I didn't look. Do we have any starred things that I should be popping up on there for sure?
Well,
Um,
I wanted to bring this up for you. Viejo 2A out there saying it's always good to break the chain and reset periodically. No doubt that absolutely must be done. And I think sometimes we're leery or not quite sure that we should be breaking the cycles that we're in. And sometimes that's the best time to have those conversations with your friends, your acquaintances. Have them head check you on that. And I bet you that they'll have a better perspective than you might in the midst of some kind of issue, trouble, or whatever's going on.
all right. Well, I'm going to bring up Abigail 2020. Hell of a decade so far. Yeah, I am confident. A lot of people have said similar to what Surya Fan is saying here. It's not chocolate ice cream for everyone, but for some people it is. Y'all can argue with me that that's not chocolate ice cream, but that is so what I'm saying that is. I can't politely say what my girlfriend said, but she said it's been a bag of, and you can insert anything you'd like to put in that bag. It could, she could actually, how was it? She said 2025 could go suck a bag of blank, and that was what she said about 2025. But she had one of her best friends die, and those sort of things really kind of are not fun. And Miss Carrie Ann, I am thankful for you too. You are adorable, my sweet little cat. Um, Miss Carrie Ann, back when we first met as part of a DC project, she won one of the first awards DC project ever put out, and it was the Curious Cat Award because she asks questions all the time, and it's awesome. And thank you, Chris. Yes, the weight loss is still happening, and and all of that. And luckily, I can grab random comments like from G Webs, and I know exactly where I was in this conversation. I suppose test tubes could be parents too. So, all right. So, my friend Mike here, he's had a hell of, has it been a week? I think it's been a week. It might have been 2 weeks. But Mike lost a friend very dramatically over the past week, give or take. So, for those of you out there who like that praying thing, or some just good mojo, please send some to Mike. That would be good because it's a lot of stuff. All right. Now, thank you for the clarification. Cyber Uber from one party to another. Well, thank you for bringing all your friends. I do appreciate that as well, even if I don't know what I'm doing. And yes, there are always good things that happened. There's more than a couple. First anniversary in a couple of days. I'll be able to introduce my dad in person. Very cool. I thought you guys have been together longer, but hey, congrats on a year. You can play guitar all day. Can you do something else? Don't know. In a groove. Well, so I wish. Congrats for playing guitar all day. And I did ask Viho earlier if it was sunny on the West Coast. So glad. Oh, thank you, Geobs. Yes, that's what I was looking for. A bag of fresh flowers. That was probably what she was going to say. I don't know what she said, but that's a good thing to throw in that bag. Satchel of ratchets. Yes, we could absolutely do that as well. But yeah. So, anywho, all right. Back on track, because like I said, when I have notes, I try to stay on track for y'all. And sometimes that works and sometimes it does not. So we agree there are growing opportunities in 2025, I think is what I would sum up from this. And it's sometimes hard to see the lessons or the growth. But this is part of that reset, refocus thing. When we ask ourselves questions, we have to be careful about what the questions are that we ask. Our victim mentality is, why does this always happen to me? Why does this have to suck so much? Why can't I get a break? Those kind of things. And those are kind of victimization, like, oh, why me? Why this? Why that? And it's how we're mostly programmed, because we ask the question why, because we want to find the answer. And when we find the answer, then we think we can fix it. And it's not true all the time. Sometimes it could be, but it's better to open up our mind to have a better outcome. So if we ask some what questions, such as, what is important for me to learn from this? Whatever this is that you're struggling with. Oof. I'm sorry. I just thought of Mike, and for right now, no, don't ask that question. And then, how can I do this change? Whatever that change is that you want to do. For me, I had weight loss. I had to lose weight. For some of y'all, it's quit smoking. For some of you all, it's quit scrolling. For some of you all, it's just eat healthier. Whatever it is, it's like, how can I blank, lose weight, and enjoy the process? Because if I give my brain my own personal chat GPT, right? For those of you who are playing with AI and all the large language models and all that. But it's like, what we put in here will always have something come out. So if you say, why do I suck and why can't I lose weight? And my brain will say, well, because you're fat and you're lazy and don't go shopping, right? So it will give me an answer. It may not be the answer that is going to be empowering and make me feel better. But if I say, how can I lose weight and enjoy the journey? And I'm like, well, I can play games with myself. Maybe I can give myself little Mario Karts on my protein shakes or something, whatever makes it fun. Because by asking this little computer in here, how can I, it's not a blame thing. Whereas why am I is kind of a blame thing. So, as we're resetting, as we're retooling, as it gets dark earlier and we're inside more, we're in here more too. And we want to start really curating, what do we want to create in 2026? How do we lift ourselves up in 2026? How do we serve ourselves best that we can empower ourselves to be strong, resilient, resourceful while we can serve others? Because here's the reality of it. We are the most powerful when we're taking care of ourselves. And for so many of us, I know so many of you out there right now, you have such huge servitude hearts and you care for people deeply. And I find a lot of times we forget. And when I say we, I'm definitely pointing right here, because I will bend over backwards to help someone else while not paying attention to the health, rest, relaxation that I need. And I'll go do it for you, but I won't take the time out for myself. So if we are rested, if we are resourceful, if we can figure out a way to keep ourselves strong and happy and joyful, then when we get knocked down with the bag of ratchets, sorry, it wasn't a bag of ratchets, a satchel of ratchets, we're still going to get knocked down. It's still going to suck. And the difference is we're not going to stay down on the ground as long. We don't have to, because we have that strength inside of us. But we can only do that if we actually reset and refocus and rest and figure out what really and truly drives us. So, ready? Back to the notes, because I know I continue. So, what worked? Success leaves clues is definitely one of those big Tony Robbins things. Success leaves clues. So, what worked in 2025? What do I want more of in 2026? Choose one. Just choose one. And Carrie Ann, I'm talking directly to you, because you know that, right? Because you and we have this problem. We can do everything. No, we really can't. We want to do everything. We really can't. So choose one thing that will make you a little bit happier in 2026. Choose one thing that will give you a little more power within yourself. Maybe Tara, choose one song and get really, really good at that one. Actually, that'd probably be boring. But I don't know. Maybe. Depends on how you are. Reminder that slow, sustainable action beats heroic bursts. And I gotta tell you, for me, my heroic bursts are cleaning the house, because I don't do it all the time. I will spend a full day and I will clean everything, and then I can't walk for 2 or 3 days because I put my back out. So this is why slow, sustainable bursts, little tiny changes over time, make you that much more successful. All right. So there's that portion of all of this. Now, we're coming to the end. And one of the other things I mentioned in the little description down here is food on your teeth. And why is that? Why do you think I talked about food on your teeth? You're going to answer me? I don't know. Because there's always this lag thing. And so I got to wait for the lag thing before I actually look. Oh, sorry. I clicked on the thing. And Mr. Mario, hey. And if you don't get it, then you got to watch, what's his name? Hillbilly at the top of the hour. As far as I know, I did not loop back, but for the most part, I have not played anything, unless somehow you have us playing on 2 windows. I've done that before. So, All right. All right. I have to laugh because I think Abigail and I might be twins. She's leaving for Georgia in 2 days and need to pack. Dude, I could be leaving in 2 hours and probably still need to pack. So I am not one to say, yeah, you should get on that. Cutting down on drinking, right? I mentioned smoking and eating and all that sort of stuff. Scrolling. Drinking is definitely one of those things. Please tell me you're still drinking water and you're not just not drinking, because goodness knows, drinking water is good. So yeah, everybody's got their thing, and only you know which thing is the most important thing that's going to serve you the best. Because Carrie Ann is out here, and she and I have these conversations all the time. Yeah, we could try to change everything all at once, That's not really going to work very well. So think real quick, or just take a nice big breath in and a breath out. And just listen to the question, what makes me happy? And believe that first thing you thought of, yeah, that first thing you thought of that came to your mind, was it the husband? Was it the wife? Was it the kids? Was it a podcast? Was it a book you've been meaning to write? Was it going to church? Was it prayer? Was it whatever it is that came to your brain that moment when I said, what lights me up? What lights me up? What makes me happy and excited? And I've got so many things in my head of, oh, well, this is, I'm like, no, pick one. And pick that one thing and be like, okay, how do I get that to be more of my life? And how can I enjoy that journey? So, all right, let's see. Still drinking plenty of water, says Miss Abigail. Good job. And yeah, Carrie Ann knows I am not lying when I say she and I have had these conversations. So, Surya fan, I will say your swearing habits and your anger management could possibly be interchanged a little bit, because if you get mad and angry, I'm going to break this down for you real fast. Ready? Why do we get mad? I can't tell you why you get mad, but I know for me, when I want to throat punch someone, it is because I have failed to get my point across. I do not feel heard or understood. And so my communication breaks down to where I want to be violent, which I've not really much done. But that feeling is still there, the anger, the rage, that sort of stuff. So if and when I'm feeling mad and angry, the worst part of that is that if you've gotten to that point where you're mad and angry, where I'm mad and angry, I already lost. In that, I didn't take a breath. I didn't change my focus on what's really happening, because a lot of times when I get mad, it's because I'm perceiving something that may or may not be true. But what's more important to understand is remaining calm allows you to be more resourceful. And when I'm more resourceful, I don't get as angry. So, like I said, I don't know why you get mad. I can only share with you how I try to remind myself that anger is something that I do or I allow to happen. And so I work on it, sometimes better than others, as with everything. Certain days were more effective than others. Now, G-Webs, piles and piles of cash, really? No, I would expect you to have piles and piles of puppies. But that's just me. Brooke, look up Steve via the love of God. Wait, what does it say? When the show's over. That's what I've been working on. Have most of it down. All right. I will look that. Oh, Steve Vai. Sorry. I'm like, Steve Via. Oh my God, no. Steve Vai is actually one of my husband's favorite guitarists. And yeah, that's some hard stuff right there. I'm like, I don't care which one of his songs you're playing. He is pretty insane. All right. Snow leopards make you happy? That is awesome. Curse like a sailor. Yeah, so swearing is not necessarily a bad habit. Swearing is just a habit. You get to decide what it means. For me, I try to choose words that are not swear words, because I feel that if I use them all the time, like the word the, and I use a different word in there, a swear word, that it lessens the impact. So I use my swear words sparingly, like that time when you're walking by the coffee table and you smash your poor little baby toe on the coffee table, at which point then, yes, there's some explicatives that come bursting out, and they have meaning because they are very special for a certain point in time. So yeah, all of that. And yeah, so here's the reality. Everybody has to work on anger management always. And some of us have to work harder than others. And sometimes that is deciding who you want to have around you and who you do not. Oh, Mr. Estrada. Hola, señor, ¿cómo estás? Yeah, haven't seen you in a minute, but I'm glad you got that. Oh, Peter here. He's here in Connecticut with us. And he teaches his pistol permit classes in Spanish. So, I mean, he does it in English too, if you're English speaking. But he's a great guy that we have working at CCDL. So I just had to introduce him. And that is a picture of his lovely little family who have been here to my house for various pates from time to time. All right, sorry, I almost forgot. Oh, the food on the teeth thing. I'm going to hide the comments again so that I do not get stuck into them because y'all, I love chatting with you all and I appreciate y'all being here. So, food on your teeth. Right? So, I thought if I had some lipstick, I'd stick some lipstick right there, but I do not have any lipstick here. Here's the thing. If I had lipstick on my teeth, who here would actually tell me? Because those are your real friends. When you got something out of place or looks weird, those are the people who will tell you, hey, Brooke, you got lipstick on your teeth. And that makes sense to me. Now, this is showing you how we are what's the word? We are not rational creatures. Because I've asked people, I'm like, well, of course I would tell you that you had a piece of spinach on your tooth. Or yes, I'm going to tell you there's some lipstick there. And be like, oh no, that's too embarrassing. I'm like, so wait a second, explain this to me. I have food on my teeth. You saw it, but you're not going to tell me because it's too embarrassing. But you're going to let me walk around with food or spinach in my teeth because who was it going to be embarrassing for? The person with food on their teeth or for you for pointing it out? Oh, yeah, Carrie Ann, we do talk about fixing each other's crown without telling anyone. There is that. Although, yeah, for sure. Yeah, be around people that help lift you up always. And so the tooth thing, it is always made. Now, here's the deal. I have notes. I'm going to keep going back to my notes. People freeze because embarrassment activates a threat response. So that embarrassment you feel about noticing and pointing out that somebody's fly is down, because yes, I'm that person too. If your fly is down and I notice, I will be embarrassed of the fact that I noticed, but I'm going to tell you anyway. So I understand that embarrassment thing. We avoid micro conflicts and social discomfort, right? We overthink and worry about making it awkward. Because I got to tell you, when I see someone with lipstick on their teeth or a piece of food in their tooth or any of that stuff, even when it's friends and family, I will tell a stranger. I'm not sure I've ever noticed the fly missing down on a stranger, so never gone that far. But these little tiny issues that we have, spinach, lipstick, whatever it is, feel huge because we are shameful that we let something bad happen to us. And the reality of it is, yeah, I can't see that you got food on your own teeth. So we rely on one another to help each other out. So a little bit to what Carrie Ann was just saying about fix someone else's crown that nobody else knows about. And so here is my sort of, kind of thing is tiny bits of courage for 2026. Care out loud. Say that one little thing, that random person, hey, you know what? I love that shirt. Or, hi, yeah, I just want to let you know there's something sticking out of your head. Is that a twig? No, don't do that because it might be their hairstyle. That is one of those things. So when we don't know. But for real, care enough to take care of yourself first and foremost. Care enough to find out what is that thing that really lights you up. Just the one thing, not all of the things, the one thing. And ask yourself, what do I want more of in 2026? And as much as G-Webs put in piles and piles of cash, which is lovely and wonderful, but we have to figure out how to make ourselves happier within and then without, we can help others and grow. So DJ told me he was going to say more than just sit there. So I'm going to have to bug him because he said, I'm going to contribute more this Saturday. So now contribute, sir. Tell me what else.
What? Well, I have a couple of things. One is I've had these instant reactions in my head. I haven't said them out loud to more than a dozen things that you've said in tonight's cast. The last one being tiny bits of courage. And in my head, I said, like spinach in your teeth. So I don't know where the giggles are coming from tonight, but on more serious notes, the notes that I made, the thumbnail that you had today had a quote highlighted, building a non-anxious life is about realizing that reality hurts. And being a music person, I thought about the Nazareth song from 1975, Love Hurts. And so I wanted to refamiliarize myself with the lyrics before I went on. And in it, I found kind of a simple lesson. The response I had after reading that quote was, but we can heal. And so then I go back into the lyrics. Love is like a cloud. It holds lots of rain. Love is like a flame. It burns you when it's hot. But the poet speaker repeats the same line. And at the end, the conclusion, that love is just a lie made to feel you blue, made to make you blue. So I think what's happening in that song, at least, is that the poet speaker has not yet healed, but we can heal. And humor is one of the ways that we can do that. And you've provided more than enough for me tonight.
Well, that's a good thing.
I'm healing. I'm healing.
Well, that is awesome. Yeah, so life is funny. And like I said, I am very blessed because I've had this time off, and it's amazing what stepping back and taking a breath feels like. And it hasn't been till this past week that I've had a moment to do that, or a couple days of moments to do that, to understand like how far in the red line I am most of the time. And I'm not suggesting all of you are in the same boat as me, but it's like, yeah, I'm so excited for having some some downtime. So, all right. And I know we try to ignore him, but I'm gonna not ignore him for this one. Embarrass you further when you notice my fly is down by asking if you'd like to purchase a hot dog. Yeah. Well, I've been to Key West, been there, done that. So it's not embarrassing. It just is. Although I could go on. And yeah, and piles of cash will help you purchase a hot dog. There is that. All right. So, Mr. DJ, we got goal setting for 2026. Can you tell the audience one thing that lights you up or makes you happy or makes you feel better that you want more of for 2026?
Live music, always, in every year. And I wish that for everyone. Live only happens once. You got to take advantage.
Yeah, that is awesome. It is true. Yeah, music is amazing. I'm not as rock and roll as you. I love my rock and roll music, but I also love going to drum circles. And I think that will be one thing that I will be doing in the 2026 with my mom, because I think she'll enjoy that too. So
that's awesome.
With that, would you like to say adieu to everybody?
Adieu, everybody. But before I say the final adieu, we were joined this evening by Viejo, Chasing Ghost, Chris Brancato, Sorry Fan 93, Abigail Sorsha Finnegan, Fiona, Carrie Ann Sampson Leclerc, Gun Websites, Mike Ballinger, Hillbilly Up, Mario 3804, Jonathan the Joke Master Burger, and Peter Estrada. I was glad to see so many faces in the room and a few that I haven't seen in a while. I encourage everyone to come back again next Saturday and bring a friend. And also, if you would, after the show is finished, reload the live and leave a comment. The algorithm loves comments, and so do we. Until we see each other again, be safe, have fun, take care of yourself and your crew, and rock. We're out.